Chapter 12. A thief, a hitman, and a latent serial killer walk into a bar. Mr. White, Tanner, and Stark sat together at a round wooden table in a bar that was headed toward closing time. Tanner and Stark were drinking beer from frosted mugs, while White had red wine. Only Stark ate as he indulged in a plate of cheese fries. Mr. White was staring at Stark with a suspicious gaze, while Tanner had taken a liking to the man. That was rare for Tanner, and he knew it was because Stark reminded him so strongly of someone from his past. "Is Stark your real name?" Tanner asked. "No, and your name isn't really Tanner either." "How do you know that?" "I heard about the Tanners from an old cop I know. The thing is, he thought it was a myth." "Most cops think I'm a myth. It works in my favor." "Are you really a hitman?" "I prefer trained assassin." "And you really took down a Mexican cartel?" "I killed its leader and had help doing it." "Maybe you're not so bad then." "What's your game, Stark?" Mr. White asked. Stark popped a fry into his mouth. After swallowing it, he spoke to White. "My game is robbing crooks. I hunt down the ones that make a big score and take it from them. Your game is chasing down serial killers, right?" "How do you know that?" "I saw your picture on TV when that nut job Cersei Doyle shot you in the back. You're Dr. Jessica White's husband." "You do have a good memory. That happened some time ago." Tanner was smiling as he asked a question. "Do you really rob crooks?" Stark grinned. "I like giving them a taste of what they're dishing out." "That sounds like a dangerous profession," Tanner said. "Sometimes it gets hairy," Stark agreed. White's phone rang. It was Lawson with an update. White listened attentively, then told Lawson that he would fill Tanner in on the search for Brick. "I take it Brick is still on the loose," Tanner said. "Yeah, they found that Cadillac that Stark mentioned, and it was rigged to blow up as well. One of Brick's crew must be an explosives expert." "I think they called him Hinto, but it was hard to hear through the closed window," Stark said. As White sent a text off to Lawson to inform him about Hinto's name, he spoke to Stark. "You should talk to the police. You may know something that'll help." "Talking to you two is enough," Stark said. "The police will have questions that I don't want to answer." White sent Stark a frown, then spoke to Tanner. "They found a notepad inside that barn. The first few pages were torn off it, but the forensic team could lift something from the impressions left behind. Lawson said that it mentions a specific bank." "The bank on 2nd Street," Stark said. "The Trust Fidelity Bank in Los Angeles. I read that notepad through the window while I was sitting upside down." Mr. White shook his head. 2nd Street is right, but not in L.A. The bank is in another city." Stark looked confused. "I was sure I read it right." "You were wrong." "Then what city will they be in?" The barmaid came over and asked them if they wanted anything else. As she spoke, she was smiling at Stark. White tossed money on the table after looking over the bill. "Thanks for pushing us out of the way, Stark. I think we both owe you one." "You can pay me back by telling me where you think Brick and his crew will be." "No, you might get in our way." Stark stood and settled his hat on his head. "That's all right. I'll find him anyway. Upside down or not, I know what I read on that notepad." Tanner scribbled a number on a napkin and handed it to Stark. "That's the number for the phone I'm using while I'm here. If you find Brick before we do, call me." Stark looked down at the number. "Why should I do that?" "You might not need to, but if you do, we'll be there." Stark tipped his hat. "You're all right, Tanner." "Watch your back, Stark. Brick is dangerous." "I'll keep that in mind," Stark said. After sending Mr. White a curt nod, Stark walked out into the night.